Hello and welcome back to Goblin Gaming. This is Xanthus. I'm going to show you a brand new base today that I affectionately call the Zombie Muncher. It is gorgeous. I love it. Alright, so the zombies are going to come in right here. They're going to get hit with the initial decision to go left or right. This will help thin out the crowd so they don't get bunched up and start whacking on walls. Some will go left, some will go right. Okay, so they're here. Once they get to this point, this wall is here specifically so they don't have line of sight, just so zombies don't sit as soon as they round the corner just start spitting. That way when cops get to this section, usually what they'll do, even though they could stop and spit, 9 times out of 10 what they'll do is, because they're so close, they'll try to sprint for you. Problem is, as soon as they start sprinting, they're going to hit these electrical traps and these saw blades. Ooh, blade traps. You also have the option of activating these dart traps if things get a little bit too crazy. I've tied those to switches over there, so that's an option as well. But they're going to start funneling in through here, getting their butts beat, getting stunned, and then you're on the other side over there, whacking away at them with your melee weapon if you want to. Now this little feature here is just so that you don't stand so close that they're able to hit you. This will stop you so you can still hit them, but they can't hit you. You can go without this piece if you want, but I found I was taking a lot of random hits from enemies when I did that, so I just added this on in there. Then again, these these switches here are to turn on the dart traps. So if I have the power going on everything, 3 engines per generator. Then if I turn the dart trap on, it'll start shooting them as well. Okay, that's basically for when you're getting overwhelmed. Now on top you have blade traps as well to deal with vultures. This is optional, you don't have to. You can just swing up through the scaffolding if you want, but it is scaffolding so we can repair those if they start taking too much damage. Same thing, this is all scaffolding as well, and we're going to show you how to build this in just a moment. The last thing to note is that I do have turrets up here for the harder difficulties. You probably don't need these unless you're going on insane difficulty or insane 64 zombies, but if you're on those difficulties, you're probably going to need those. We will do trial runs of it on normal max game stage, insane max game stage, and insane max game stage 64 zombies, each as separate videos. This one's just going to be focused on the building of the base. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing you want to do is dig a ditch around your base, but you first have to lay the foundations. So this initial section here is a 8 wide, 5 deep section. You want to make sure you're laying out the walls as such so that you have a 2 by 2 entrance. And then you're building that little wall there, which is just 1 block and 3 wide. That way it forces the pathing. And then again here, you're going to want to build that little extra lip on each side so that they don't have line of sight for you. On the inside of that, once you get in here, what you're going to want to do is come from the entrance in 1, over 1, 2, and then build on the 3rd block. Okay, so you need to make sure you're leaving a 3 by 3 here for a blade trap and a 3 by 3 here for a blade trap, and then you put the scaffolds on the outside. Okay, so scaffolding, scaffolding, scaffolding. Then go ahead and just go on out to the other side or on the outside. None of this will be here, and you want to build your walls. So build these walls out over and around. This shape right here is a wedge 60. And it's just rotated so that you can easily see inside of that area for when we're placing those electric fences so we can easily repair them. Okay. This shape right here is a cube 1/2 pole, and right above it is just a simple pole cube. Okay. Rotate the pole cube so it's on the bottom orientation. That way when you walk up onto this little step, it stops you from walking too far forward where the zombies can hit you. Then I place these storage cubes here for convenience, and we're going to put the generators there, and then the electric traps over here. So let's go ahead and put in our electric traps real quick. We're going to need more blade traps. Let's go ahead and just spawn those on in. So again, you want to leave that 3 by 3 blank there so you can put those in. Then you want to go into advanced rotation by holding R. and dragging, and then you're going to be able to place those blade traps upside down like so. Now we're going to switch over to electric fences. I like to place them so that they are like this, but I want to have it oriented towards me so it's easier to see from over here. You see how that's a little bit easier when it's facing you like that? And then same thing here. I'm just going to orient them so they're facing towards me, just to make it easier to wire. Above that, you're going to want to put some dart traps. When you're doing the dart traps, hold R, go into advanced, drag, etc. And we're going to want to make it so that the green arrow is on the bottom and firing in towards the zombie kill pit. Same thing on this side, arrow on the bottom, firing in towards the zombie kill pit. Easy, 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 easy. Now we're going to want to put in 2 generators with 3 engines in each. So let's go ahead and get those engines. And let's get those generators. Obviously, if you're playing non-creative mode, you're going to have to grind and build these. I'm just showing you how to build the base. Okay. And then we take our wiring tool. Oh, we got to put in the switches too. Let's put those in. A couple switches. Doesn't really matter. Well, I guess the only spot you can put it is right there. So there you go. And then we're going to wire it from here to the switch. From the switch to the dart traps. Not sure if I got that middle one, so we're just going to do it one more time just to be safe. There we go. Same thing over here. From there to the switch. From the switch to the dart traps. And then from the generator itself to the blade traps on each side. We will also have blade traps on the top that we're going to wire up. That's why we're using 2 generators instead of just 1. And then all you have to do is go into a generator by hitting E, fuel it up, and turn it on. Put in the engines first, then turn it on. You can see we're not anywhere near the power requirement yet. But that's also because the blade traps are not on. So if I were to, let's see, we're using 41 watts. If I flip that on, then we're suddenly using 71 watts. Now they're not firing any darts because we don't have any ammo in there. So next step is going to be getting dart ammo. You need 3 per container. We have 6, so that's going to be 18. We need a few more, but that's okay. We'll spawn a few more in a second. So put them in there and then lock ammo. If you forget to hit lock ammo, they won't work. So that's a very important step. And again, these are just for kind of the emergency situation. You're not going to be using these all the time. It's just like you're starting to get overwhelmed, or there's a bunch of cops piling up, there's a bunch of demos piling up, that kind of thing. That's when you would use these dart traps. Otherwise, the turrets are more than capable of taking care of everything. And honestly, even on normal difficulty, max game stage, you probably don't need the dart traps. They're just there as a peace of mind kind of thing, I suppose, at that point. But once you get into like the insane difficulty, that kind of stuff, then that's probably going to be a lot more needed. Just go through once and just double check to make sure you hit lock on each of your dart traps, because it's really easy to forget. There we go. It's easy to double check. Cool. So that's all set. Now we need to build our ditch. So the ditch is dug 2 down, and then we're using a shape called storage cube as the zombie force field. So search storage, and it's going to be that full size one right there. Okay. Now zombies don't like pathing over these because there's 2 blocks dug out down below, and they don't like pathing over those. It essentially creates a force field that they run around. That said, in the future, Fun Pimps might fix that block, so you might have to find a different block to use. There's a ton of blocks that act as zombie force fields that you can use. And worst case, if they fix all of them, they still don't like pathing into ditches, so you can just leave it open air. The only reason I don't like leaving it open air is sometimes, every so often, one can fall in which case you have to build a ramp back out. But that's an easy solution if you decide to go that route instead. Okay, so that's all of that. Now we want to build the corners to the base, and then we want to build the ceiling for the base. So for the corners, this is just purely aesthetic. You don't have to do this part. I like it. I like to make a little slope. You can use triangles, ramps, whatever. You can use stairs, however you want to do it. I'm going to use stairs because I think it looks dope. And let's go and switch our material. There we go. That way we're keeping it uniform with the rest of the base, right? Just like that. And then I'm also going to do it here too, I think, just because it'd be kind of cool, I think. You don't have to do any of this. It's just for funsies. I think it just adds a little extra depth, a little bit of extra texture, that kind of thing. Just makes it pop a little bit extra, you know? I think this one should also actually be that too. Let's fix that. Wait, band rotation. Love that feature. Actually, let's grab that one. Where's my paintbrush? That cannot stay like that. Paintbrush, where are you? I actually don't know where it went. I might be blind. Someone's probably yelling at the screen right now. Let's grab one anyway. I'm also apparently out of paint for some reason. There we go. Okay. Now, we've got our corners in. Did we get this side? Nope. Let's do this side now. I'm not ADHD. I'm, ooh, shiny. Hey, there we go. Looks good, looks good. Wonderful. Alright, that actually looks like it's a mandible now. I like that. That's way cooler. I'm gonna add that on that side too. Anyway, so that's that. Now we want to add the roof pieces. These are relatively easy. For the corner pieces where the stairs are, you're just going to use the plate half triangle. You will need to paint that first if you're doing the whole painting shenanigans. I like to do this. Oops, not all sides. Let's take off all sides. Let's go ahead and put back on all sides. Paint texture. Take off all sides. And then we're going to choose this because I think it looks cool. Like that. And I'm just going to paint the top of each of those stairs. So that way when I put the plates on, it matches the plates. So it makes a smooth transition. Again, this is purely optional. I just like to do it. This should be also stairs, huh? Yeah. I don't like the blocky angles. I like some curvature to my build. A little bit of texture, a little bit of depth. There we go. And paint the top. Paint the top. Okay, I believe that's all the tops of the stairs. A rude zombie's trying to get my brains. Let's just delete them. Okay. Now we want to put plates on top. Triangle plates. There we go. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Okay. On top of those, now we want to grab these regular plates. And we're just going to go around the outside here, like so. The exception is on this interior section right here. We're going to want to be using a different shape. This one is called plate corner. This is going to help us build our ceiling. So we're just gonna go kind of like that on those squares. Same thing on this side. Ta-da! And we're just gonna grab those plates again. Tink, tink, tink. And just put them over top of our dart traps. Give it a little bit of an armored look. We'll provide anchor points for the rest of the ceiling as far as structural stability goes. There we go, something like that. Then, just for the aesthetics of it, I chose to use this shape, which is a dynamic grate shape. Now, the reason I decided to use that is it's not something that the zombies are going to be able to accidentally glitch through if I hit them with explosives or something, but it does have some slits in it, so it's going to let the natural blood moon light shine down into the zombie horde pit, which I just think is kind of cool. So, I'm going to go and throw those on there. I don't know what paint texture I used over there, but I think it might have been the stucco ceiling one. I'm going to grab that. Otherwise, you could always just leave it as this like armored iron plate texture. I just want a little bit of extra depth here, so we're going to do that. Yeah, it's the stucco ceiling one. We're going to do paint all sides, of course. Oh, it's because I have the wrong paintbrush. I need the min paintbrush. It's much quicker. And you don't need paint. Just for creative mode. Yeah, because you can just do this. There you go. And oh, paint all sides. Thought that looked a little funky. There we go. Cool. So that's that part. Now we want to do the same thing over here, except for this one is actually not going to be scaffold because there's no scaffolds that are a right angle shape like this. So unfortunately, we do have to use a bar shape on this section. So we're going to do copy shape and rotation. And it's just going to be bars that are kind of up like that so that we can transition up to a ceiling where we have our blade traps on top later. So let's do those. And then for the rest of it, though, we're going to switch it. Or do the same thing over here, I believe, right? No, we're just going to go solid over there. I mean, you could also do that over here, honestly. It doesn't have to be solid, but you could do this plate corner over here as well. It doesn't really matter. But the section over top here where our blade traps are going to go, that's actually going to be scaffolding. And the reason for that is twofold. First, scaffolding you can repair through, bars you can't, which is kind of sad. And second, scaffolding you can easily melee through, and bars you cannot, which is also kind of sad. And we're just going to misplace a block, no big deal though. We have our handy dandy super digger that we can delete that with, so no big old deal. Okay, and then I believe that's all of the enclosure there, right? Oh, I gotta put the rest of the plates on there. Okay, so we're gonna put those on like that. And let's go and just texture pick that. And ta-da! We have our ceiling. Now on top of the ceiling, we want to put a few more blade traps. So we're gonna do blade traps as such. Come on. There we go. With an overhang on the back end, just in case some zombies get the clever idea of like kind of trying to jump on top of our roof. Which I haven't had that happen yet, but you never know. Better safe than sorry. But I think that is one too far over, yeah. This is actually correct. There we go. And of course I ran out. Ta-da! Magically, we have more. Alright, there we go. So those we're also going to have to wire up to our generator, so let's go ahead and go on back inside here. And we're just going to grab our wiring tool. The other nice thing about scaffold is you can wire up through it. So if for some reason you do ever have to replace those blade traps, it's super easy to rewire without putting yourself in danger. Alright. And there we go. We're all wired up there. And we're almost done. The last thing we gotta do is just put in the remainder of the roof tiles here. Yoink. You could, if you chose to, put the security grates on the little pathway section there too, just for fun, but I just chose to fully enclose it. That's completely an aesthetic choice. You can decide to do it however you decide to do it. But that's that. Last step, if you're doing like a insane difficulty or something like that, you're going to put those turrets on top of the eyeballs. But yeah, otherwise that's your whole base setup. So hopefully that all makes sense to you. It's pretty easy to build. I added a lot of extra aesthetic flourishes. You could certainly bare bones it, take off the corners, take off the different textured shapes and stuff. But I mean, I like it a little bit better like that because I think it adds a little bit of character, a little bit of depth to it. But yeah, tune in for the next video where we are going to test this out against a normal max game stage horde. Like, favorite, share, subscribe if you like this video, and we'll see you guys next time.